good afternoon everyone. I hope everyone is doing okay. So, selamat sore semuanya. Welcome to the last session for today. So, my name is Chandini and I'm gonna be your moderator for this session. And we're gonna talk about hospitality and culinary school. And we have two representatives coming with us today who have joined us. We have Lucy. Lucy is from Vatel Bordeaux. Hi, Lucy.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. And hi, we have also Lydia coming from Le Cordon Bleu Paris.
Halo,
So, Lydia, how are you?
good, I'm good. And how are you? And selamat sore semuanya.
Selamat sore. So, thank you so much again for joining us for today. So, today, since we are going to be talking about hospitality, tourism, and then culinary school. So, I'm just wondering, perhaps I would like to invite Lydia first. What can you, I would like to introduce Lydia, and Lydia, you can introduce yourself and Le Cordon Bleu as well. So,
Okay,
the time is yours.
so yes, thank you, Chandini. So, yes, I'm Lydia. I'm from the recruitment and business development at Le Cordon Bleu Paris. Well, I've been working for Le Cordon Bleu for more than 10 years now. I used to work for Le Cordon Bleu in Indonesia, but now since I moved to Paris, I represent solely the Paris campus. So for this session, if you have any questions about our institute, feel free to ask at any time. And yes, I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Okay, but just a little bit about sorry, is this should I mention a little bit about the Cordon Bleu as well, or is it there's a
Yeah, you
moment
can
later?
mention about Le Cordon Bleu.
Yes,
Feel free.
so for Le Cordon Bleu Paris, we offer the culinary arts program. We have programs in pastry, cuisine, boulangerie, and several other programs, including business and management. And they are all offered at the diploma level. So at Le Cordon Bleu Paris, we host more than, we host around 1,000 students a year. A majority of them are international students. And the language taught, the teachers, they are teaching in French, but we have consecutive translation into English. And for those of you who think, oh, maybe I should be able to speak fluent French to be able to do the program, well, that's not the case, because since there are translators, you will be able to follow the programs in English. However, we do offer internship program. So if you choose to study the culinary arts program with internship, you do have to learn French to be able to work in Paris. Most of our students do their internship in Paris, and the level of French required is A2, level A2, but you don't have, but when you start your program, you do not need to have that level. You can actually study French while you are also studying in Paris. And our institute is located in the 15th district in Paris, and it's not far from the Eiffel Tower. If you can see the background, my background here, that's the building. The blue building is our institute, and at the back is the Eiffel Tower. And really, the students it only takes the students 8 minutes, 10 minutes to 10 minutes to go there. For me, probably I take more time to walk because I walk very slow. But yes, we are ideally located in the center of Paris. We have metros, buses that stops really close to the institute, and in front of us is the Seine River. So it's a really beautiful campus. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Lydia, for the introduction about Le Cordon Bleu. I'm gonna move ahead to Lucy from Vatel Bordeaux. So, Lucy, what can you tell us about Vatel Bordeaux?
That's Lydia, it's right. The location of the Cordon Bleu is very well. I'm Parisian, so actually I know very well, and it's a wonderful one. As for me, I'm representing Vatel, and especially Vatel Bordeaux. So we are the largest business school related to hospitality management in terms of the amount of campuses that we're having, because we have 53 campuses in 31 countries. The one that I represent in Bordeaux, it's 1 hour by plane from Paris and 2 hours by train, but we are international airport, so we don't have the Eiffel Tower, but we have the wine museum. We're having all the vineyard and from Bordeaux region, of course, and we are close to all the major European capital by plane. Close to the sea, close to the mountain, so something completely different. If you want the atmosphere of Paris, of course, it's nice, but it's more laid back, especially when you're coming, you know, for a broad country. Bordeaux will be more family-oriented. There will be more greenery, more outdoor activities, and a lot of students. Yeah. So you will not feel lost inside of a city. It will still be something who's going to be very small compared to a big city. Now, for Vatel Bordeaux, we have 2 campuses, one for the bachelor. So it's going to be a 3 years program. So we have 1 building for them, and we have an MBA program, one in hospitality management, the other one will be in wine and spirit. And here it is located in our 2nd building, close to the one and the other are close to 10 minutes by tramway and 10 minutes by feet also. And in the main building, you're not gonna have an hotel and a restaurant where the students can do either practical when they are doing the bachelor program, or learn the wine and spirit technique when they're in the MBA level. So that's for me. We have only 2 programs. And as Lydia was talking about international students, we are very small. We only have 650 students, but they're coming from around 30% of them are international students. And we are covering 62 different nationalities. Last year, 55, 62 this year. So I'm guessing that I've done a good job. And our program are both in French or in English. So if you're international and you're afraid of not knowing any kind of French, this is no problem. French will be mandatory. The courses will be in English. French will be mandatory. Plus, you're going to have a Spanish or German that you're going to be able to learn from scratch.
Okay. So, Lucy, pretty promising, I think, for international students. And you do not only have a quite large composition of international students, but you also have a system which accommodates international students to be able to immerse themselves, to learn French from scratch as well. So yeah, I think it's a really good start to understand that you can definitely study at the Vatel in English, and you can definitely learn other languages too. So I'm still gonna start. I'm still gonna continue with Lucy at this point before moving up to Lydia later. So because we talk about international students, so when the international students would like to apply to your school, for example, is there any available scholarships for international students who are applying to Vatel?
Not at the bachelor level. As I didn't explain, the curriculum for the bachelor, it's 2 weeks at school, 2 weeks practicals. So they're placed into the local partners, and they have 4 to 5 months of internship per year that can be paid if they're in France. And the internship can be done in France or abroad. So that's for the 3 years of the bachelor. For the MBA, it's a 2 years program where they're going 6 months at school, 6 months of professional training, so internship. Again, this one can be paid, and that's for 2 years. So here the students receive some kind of allowance, plus they are able to work 20 hours per week, up to 20 hours per week, and it's something that is very highly recommended in the hospitality and the tourism industry. Why? Because it's adding experience on your resume. After that, if you cannot, for example, you're French, you don't know anything about English, and you're learning, sorry, you don't know anything about French and you're only learning English, it's going to be a little bit complicated. But it's where your understanding of Indonesian culture can be interesting, because you can sell yourself into the wine museum if you have Indonesian tourists, or into other touristic places when they will need some translator, or if you want to give some lesson and make yourself useful into the trade between France and Indonesia. So it's up to you how you're going to be able to sell yourself.
Okay. Okay, so I think it's pretty much interesting because you're providing a lot of opportunities for students to get in touch as soon as possible with the real life application of what you're studying at school.
It's
So
very
you're
operational,
like by the
yes.
time you graduate, yeah, by the time you graduate, you're gonna be having like a lot of experience already with the industry. Like you're gonna be exposed already to the industry. And by doing so, you're gonna have more knowledge and more practical skills, I think, when it comes to the industry.
Exactly.
All right. Okay. So Lucy, I'd like to move to Lydia first at this point. So Lydia, is there any information about scholarship for Le Cordon Bleu, for example?
We do not offer scholarships, unfortunately. We host scholarship students, but they got their scholarship from their own government. So yes, we do not have scholarships at the moment. Yeah. Okay, but
Okay, so
just to add on,
there is no particular. Yes?
sorry, I'm sorry, Shandini.
Yeah. You can continue.
No, but yes, we don't have scholarships. We tried. Well, we probably will try to get some funding from the Indonesian government, but we'll talk about that later. But anyway, just to add, because when Lucy mentioned about the nationalities, we do also have a lot of international students on campus. Actually, we only have 10% of local students. 90% of our students are overseas students from 100 different nationalities at the moment. And we do have a good community of Indonesian students. So when I started 4 years ago, I only had 5 Indonesian students on campus. But at the moment, we already have in total 55, but a lot of them already graduated. So now on campus, we have 30 students who's doing all different levels from the basic up to superior, and some of them are also doing their internship. But rest assured, even though we are still a small community, I mean, 30 students in our campus is still a small community, but a solid community. So for all the Indonesian students who come, sometimes I think that the Indonesians, when they think about Paris, they're already afraid. I mean, France in general, not only Paris, but Bordeaux and all the cities in France. They always think about, the language barrier. What can they do? What's the support system? What can they do? And, lots of these questions before choosing Paris. But rest assured, in Paris, at Le Cordon Bleu Paris, we do have a solid community where the seniors help the juniors when they come. We have a WhatsApp group where they can ask a lot of different questions, as simple as where to buy a SIM card. So it's good. It's good. We have this community, the Indonesian community, and our location is not too far from the Indonesian embassy. The Indonesian embassy is just across the river. So it's only 25 minutes by walking, or just 10 minutes by bus to go to the Indonesian embassy. And the Indonesian embassy here is very, very active. And we have a koperasi at the embassy. This is a small shop where they sell the Indonesian products. So the students here, if you're planning to come to France, you don't need to bring a lot of different products from Indonesia, because you can definitely find a lot of products here. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Lydia. So I would like to continue the conversation on international students. So for international students, because you mentioned like around 90% of the students at Le Cordon Bleu are actually foreigners, like coming from overseas. Is there any particular assistance from your institution to help the students in general to find housing, for example, or to find any other things that they need when they start moving to France?
So in Indonesia, we have an office. So in Indonesia, we have the Cordon Bleu office. It's a representative office. So right from the application process, we assist our students from the application process up until their arrival here. With the Indonesian office, so we assist students with their application. And the Indonesian office also works with Campus France when the students will apply for their student visa. And then we will also do a pre-departure briefing for all the Indonesians before they come to Paris. So with this pre-departure briefing, we provide lots of information, and we also connect the students even before they depart to France. I think it's important to know at least, one or two, three names before they actually go, before the students actually go. When they arrive here, I do connect these students to the current students through WhatsApp, and normally the current students will arrange time to take the new students if they would like to, because lots of the new students also sometimes they have families or they have friends who are already here. But if they would like to, the current students will take them around the institute. And in terms of the assistance that we provide in Paris, I have colleagues where students can actually go and ask about accommodation, as well as visa matters and how to apply for the health insurance that is provided free of charge by the French government. We also provide contacts of accommodation agencies where students can actually contact. And of course, I'm available for the students to, if they have questions. But yes, we do have a team of 4 people on campus who assist students, not necessarily finding the right accommodation for students, because accommodation, of course, students have to look for themselves, but we have the context where which they can actually contact.
Okay.
And yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Lydia. I'm going to go straight to Lucy. So what about you, Lucy? Like, is there any assistance for the students who are looking for accommodation before they're arriving at Vatel, before they're arriving in Bordeaux, for example?
So
Or any other information?
As Lydia was mentioning, we are helping the students the moment they're passing the interview. We're helping them with the process of the visa. And before even arriving, they can chat with students, not only Indonesian, but whatever students, to have a feedback, because they need to understand how it's going to be the life, what they should bring, so the departure and everything. The moment they arrive, they're having a meeting with, we have a dedicated office who's helping for the accommodation. As in Paris, it's a little bit more complicated. In Bordeaux, it's a student city. So we are working with Vatel Bordeaux. It's 29 years of experience. So we are very well known in the city. And we're having all the contact of all the students' residency. So we are placing the students, if they apply before May of each year. So, for example, before May 2024, which is going to be the deadline for the help with the accommodation. After that, the price will be increasing, and it's going to be more complicated as we will have to place all the students. The same office, we help them. So it's a lady. So she's visiting all the apartments. She's able to tell the students what kind of accommodation, if there will be the Wi-Fi, the electricity, how to open a bank account also, the SIM card, so everything. After that, when the students are here, there is integration days when they're having the historical part of the city, as Bordeaux is a UNESCO heritage city. So they're visiting the city with one of the teachers, but also with the Students' Council. The Students' Council will help them find, like a godmother or godfather to be able to ask some question. They're going to also tell about the party, the students' life, everything related to humanitarian. If they want, for example, to do the October Rose, like October Pink October, like it's for the concert right now. So we're having association, and we are sending through WhatsApp, through Facebook, different information if they want two-party, but also if they have some trouble in courses like the tutoring things. We have a specific program for the students. So it's a win-win situation. For example, you want to improve your French, you're finding a French student who wants to improve their English, and they're able to exchange. Or as Lydia was saying, when you have somebody, a senior who's better in, let's say, as we are in business schools, so it's going to be finance, marketing, and human resources. If you're struggling in first year, you can find one of the students through the tutel program who's going to help you and who's going to lead you toward the difficulty that you can have. So a lot of help, not only for the international students, but actually for all the students who are here. You're going to always have our door who are open for whatever reason. Every time you have something, even if you're missing your parents, we have a box of Kleenex, you know, to hear you out and to actually pat you on the back and tell you it's going to be okay. It's going to be a good adventure. Don't worry.
Okay, such a comprehensive assistance, I would say. All right, thank you so much, Lucy. So I think before moving back to Lydia, I would like to continue with you a little bit more, Lucy. So I'm just wondering, because from based on your explanation, you're putting a lot of emphasis for students to be able to have experience from early on for their study, as in connecting them with the industry. So after graduation, how do you manage the graduates so they can be, you know, they will be able to find the appropriate employment after graduation? Like, do you connect them to any prospective employers, or do you have any career days, for example, or do you have any other mechanism for the students?
As I told you, the same way we're having a dedicated office for helping the students with the students' life in general, we have a dedicated office for the corporate relation. As I told you, the internship is part of the curriculum, so it's mandatory. So the students are receiving list, and the first year they're placed immediately because they don't know, they don't have the, you know, they don't know how to behave, to write a resume and everything. So here they're placed. After that, it's mandatory, and they're doing the process on their own, but we're helping them. We have a lot of hotels, the big brand, who are coming directly. You can go on LinkedIn, you can go on a Facebook page, on TikTok, and you're going to see that a lot of in-house career fair are happening because of the internship. Now is the question, it was after graduation. I will say that if you're stopping at the bachelor, here it's up to you. You can decide it, you know, to find a job, go back into your country. But most of the students will go to the MBA. And in this case here, if they're finishing the graduation, they have 1 year of stay back in France. If you're staying in France, you have 1 year of stay back as in Indonesian students. Now, finding a job will depend of your level of French. It will depend of what you're going to do. If you go to work in a hotel or a restaurant, or if you decide to go, for example, in the wine and spirit, here, me, as it's a niche inside of a niche, I'm having actually, I will say 99% of the students who are finding a job before graduation because it's a niche. And here we are having a very specific location in Bordeaux. So wine and spirit will be a very strong point. The students who's going to go for hospitality per se can decide to take a year gap, can decide to travel abroad to build their own company, become entrepreneur. And in this case here, at 6 months after finishing their graduation, the level is going to be around 90 to 95% of students already having a job. So it's important to determine, and all the time we have a lot of alumni. As I told you, we are a big brand, so it's more than 45,000 of alumni. So there is somebody who works in Vatel. There is a school inside of your country, not in Indonesia, unfortunately, but you know what I mean. It's mean that there is somebody who has done Vatel, so it's easier in terms of being able, the network, to be able to connect and to find a job.
Okay, so apart from the in-house career day, you connect them as well with the alumni network, for example.
Exactly,
So,
to find job.
Like Vatel to Vatel, right?
Vatel to Vatel, or just, you know, when, for example, you're going to a Sofitel, you're going to have in Vietnam a lot of GM who already have done Vatel, who know Vatel. So that's why I said it's the same for Cordon Bleu. Those are big names. So in this case, we'll say that the reputation of the school, you know, that it's an asset, and you're coming also for that. You're coming for Vatel and for Cordon Bleu because of the reputation of the school that we're having.
Okay, so do you happen to invite experts as well to
Of
teach at the
course.
school and then to have some kind of like provide sharing their experience working
Of
in
course.
the
Of course.
tourism and hospitality industry?
Of course, we have lecturers. 98% of the teachers are actually professional in activities, which make the difference between a university. So here, even the network inside of the classroom will be very important. Then we have outsiders who are coming for example, for Indonesia to talk about the coffee, the specific one that you're going to find. We're going to have also a school who's going to visit from different university and who's going to able to invite the students to go for some courses, for some internship. So there is a lot of movement inside of a business school because, you know, it's not just theoretical, as I say. It's also a lot of experience, a lot of operational thing, a lot of case studies when they're working with the industry. So it's very important that they are in a relation with professional immediately and with clients from day one.
All right. Okay. So they would be able to learn from early on about the characters of the customers, for example,
Exactly.
and the trends that are happening. And we're gonna talk about the trends in the tourism and hospitality industry after this. But I'm gonna move on to Lydia first. So Lydia, can you share with us, for example, about how you're helping the students to find a job after the graduation or perhaps before the graduation? And do you incorporate the experts as well to teach at Le Cordon Bleu? Hi,
Your mic.
Lydia, you're still on mute, I think.
Okay, good. Now, to begin with the teaching stuff. So, as I mentioned, at the moment, the Cordon Bleu Paris, we only offer a culinary arts program. We only have one diploma in culinary management, which is a business program. So, all the teaching stuffs, the chefs, they are all in-house chefs. We have our director, Chef Eric Brifard. He is an MOF. Mayor of Ville de France, and he used to be the executive chef at the Plaza Athénée and Georges V, which are the two biggest hotels in Paris. And we have around 30 academics, including 30 teaching, 30 academics, which includes chefs, but also some academic stuffs, because before we also have a bachelor degree, but we currently is reviewing our bachelor degree. So we don't offer the bachelor degree starting last year, but we still have students who are in their bachelor level. So the teaching stuffs and the translators, as I said, that our classes are taught in French by the chefs and then translated into English consecutively. The translators are also in-house translators. They are not just someone who we hired part-time to do the translating. And most of our translators are native speakers, and some of them are also our alumni. Okay. All of our chefs, they came to Le Cordon Bleu with their experiences. So they are, and they already work. Lots of them also work overseas, but many of them also work in the Michelin, but also in the good establishments all over France. So they bring with them the skills when they work, but they also bring with them the network of the people that they met during their work. For students who choose to do the internship pathway for their culinary programs, we have a team, the internship team, that will guide and assist the students to find placement. The idea is to find a good placement for the students. It's like matchmaking. We don't want the student just to be there for 1 week or 2 weeks and say, "Oh no, it's not for me." No, we don't want that. The goal is to place all of our students at the right placement. And how we do that, as appointed by Lucy, of course, when you try to find placement in France, the level of French is, will determine also the placement, but also the skills. So when we do the placement, the students, they will have one-on-one meeting with the internship staff, but also with the chef to determine where should you go. The students are able to choose where they want to go. There's some various establishments in France, in Paris especially. You can go to a boutique hotel, you can go to a big star hotel, you can go to 5-star hotel, 4-star, you can go to Michelin restaurant, you can go anywhere. But the students also have to know what's the end goal. What do they want to do when they graduate from the school? Well, do they want to work in a Michelin? Do they want to open their own business? What do they want to do? So once we know the student's goal, then we try to find a placement, or if the students already find a placement, then the chef, being that the chef is already, they know the industry, they can give advice to the students. Oh, perhaps your first choice is best, but maybe it's good, but maybe the second choice is better for you because your end goal is this. So that's how we do it. And we have career day. So at Le Cordon Bleu, we have 4 intakes a year. We have a January intake, April, July, October. So that means every January, April, July, and October, we have students going out for internship. And so before each session, we will have a career day where we invite establishments, we invite hotels, restaurants, and they will be at Le Cordon Bleu for 1 day. And we only invite the students who will go for that period of time. So this is the opportunity for the students to meet the employers directly, to give their CV and have a short talk. But also students are welcome if they would like to find their own placement. After graduation, once they finish their internship, we have a platform which is called HOSCO. So the students will be automatically joining this platform. And at the moment, I think, especially in Paris, because we are going to have the Olympics next year, I find the trends that a lot of our students, my students, being offered a job after their internship. And it is possible, even though it is not automatic. But if a company is willing to sponsor a student, then the student can actually apply for work permit, which they can renew after 2 years. I have a student whom I met 2 years ago, and he already worked at La Rochelle and then for 1 year, and worked in Paris for 1 year. And now he is waiting for his 10 years permit to stay in France. So it is possible. And I think, well, the trend now Paris and France, Bordeaux also is a tourist city. We always have demand for people working in the culinary arts and in the hospitality area. And for internship, for our diploma, the internship is between 4 to 6 months, and internship is paid. There is a minimum wage that the employer has to pay. It's between 500 to 700 euros per month, depending on negotiation. And yeah, well, we place all of our students in Michelin, in hotels, in big hotels. So yes, we do have this opportunity for students. But if the students choose to do the internship pathway, we have a big age group in at Le Cordon Bleu. So many students also just come and study to improve their skills and to gain new skills, but then they go back home directly to open their own business. So it's an option for our students. And the chefs I mentioned before, they came from a lot of different background, and the chefs they are very well connected. So if students also want to try to find jobs, they can also ask the chef, and the chef is willing to provide like letters of recommendation for the students to apply. I mean, they don't have to. It's not it's not compulsory, because with the internship, it's mandatory. Like in Vatel, if they choose the internship, it's mandatory. So we have a contract where students actually have to bring, when they go for internship, they are part of Cordon Bleu. They are bringing the Le Cordon Bleu name. So, but yeah, I think internship is the internship program at Le Cordon Bleu Paris is something that is very popular, especially amongst the Indonesian. I think about 70% of our students actually do this pathway when they come to France. Anyway, when will the opportunity come again, for trying to find jobs or even working in Paris? And most of our students actually stay in
Okay.
Paris. They don't go outside of Paris for their internship because of accommodation. As Lucy said before, it's more challenging to find accommodation in Paris. Challenging in terms of meeting budget and expectation, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Lydia. So I
Yeah.
think I have one last question to you and then to Lucy as well. After that,
Yeah.
we're going to wrap up the session where you can have your closing remarks. So I'm just wondering,
Yeah.
when it comes to the tourism and the culinary industry in general, hospitality industry as well. So after the pandemic has subsided, so I'm just wondering, how do you see the trends so far? Like has the growth started picking up, and how does that impact your students? Like, does it provide more opportunities for them, or perhaps more opportunities in different areas that you never imagined before? So yeah, any information about the trends after COVID?
Lucy,
Yeah,
would you like
yeah,
to
I
go
will go
first
to
or?
Lydia first before I go to
Okay.
Lucy.
All right. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, trends. Yeah. So I think France is one of the countries that opened very early for the foreigners during COVID time, after COVID. Yeah. I mean, we already opened. I mean, as I was only at home for 3 months, and then we're already back on campus. I mean, everything running as per normal. Well, we wear our mask, we wore our mask, but the study and learning is just running as per normal. And as I said, because we are going to have Olympics next year, and also I think because of COVID as well, many people actually left the industry and try to find other jobs because maybe it's a kind of a time, a period where people actually rethink of what they want. But because these people left the industry, it actually opens a lot of opportunities for our students. And for us, we receive more and more students. So, um, Paris is always busy, and Paris is a gastronomic city, and I mean, France is a gastronomic country. And so where else in the world can you actually get a better education for hospitality, for culinary arts? But it's not only about the education, it's also about the culture, about living here. All of my students, if they we are follow each other on Instagram, I see them every weekend. They go to all different sorts of restaurants. They go outside Paris. They travel because a student visa. With the student visa, student can actually travel in the Schengen area. So and from Paris, the Netherlands is Amsterdam is only 3 hours away. UK is
Yeah.
only 2 hours away. So the students, they are happy. It's not only about studying, but also experiencing the gastronomic culture of living in this country. That's, I think, is going to be more and more opportunity in France, but also back home in Indonesia. uh I'm amazed of all of these different resorts, of all of these different hotels. Like, I just found out about this new hotel in Magelang, Le Temple. I've never heard about it before, but it's such a luxurious hotel, and it's overlooking the Borobudur Candi, and it's really amazing. I think the hospitality industry is really really open opportunities to a lot of different careers as well. As I see my alumni, they don't only work as chefs. A lot of them are journalists. A lot of them are consultants. They are Renata is our famous alumni who's the master
Yeah.
chef judge, and we have all these different people doing all sort of different things. And this is the happy thing for me, because I see these students from the beginning of their journey until now. And in Indonesia, as I said, we have an office. The office is also takes care of alumni. In fact, we are going to have an alumni gathering soon. And during this alumni gathering, it's not only about just between alumni, but our office invite different vendors, different suppliers, different people from the industry. So the students can connect to these different people. You know, when you go back home, you want to open your own business, then you think of, oh, where can I buy this? Where can I buy that? Where can I get that? And for me, it's easy. Just contact my colleagues in Indonesia because they are very well connected with all the vendors in Indonesia. And that's it. Whatever that you need, if we can assist, then we will assist. So yes, I think alumni is a big, it's our success story. Lucy said you have lots of alumni from all in the world, and the same thing with Le Cordon Bleu. I myself, when I started to work at Le Cordon Bleu, I traveled to Belgium for a personal trip, and I went to this 2 Michelin restaurant, and it's a very small restaurant. And I was surprised to see someone inside the kitchen with the Le Cordon Bleu logo on the chef jacket. For me, it was an awesome experience because I just started working for Le Cordon Bleu, so I didn't know that, okay. But then, yes, we have alumni all around the world and in Indonesia as well. It's like a family, and they support each other. I think that's the important of being in a good school. When you choose your school, you have to look at what they can bring also to you after you graduate. When you become the alumni, you can be proud because you are part of this alumni, and they support each other. When they are working in one hotel and you need contact in that hotel, definitely you can get it for sure.
All right, thank you so much, Lydia. Over to you, Lucy. So how do you see the trends after COVID, and does it provide more opportunities for the students from Vatel, for example?
As Lydia was saying, if we are just talking about France, actually COVID was kind of great. It means that the industry now is looking at so many people that we're recruiting a lot. It has provided a lot of opportunity to grow. But what I'm seeing is actually, as we are a business school, we are training people, of course, to work in hotel and restaurant, but also to become entrepreneur, as we are doing marketing, finance, and human resources, event management. So they can do, like Lydia was saying, journalism, food and beverage. They can work for luxury brand. With the wine industry, they can do either into import-export supply chain. So the most of the students from Indonesia or elsewhere, they're actually coming in an international class where their classmates will also help them. For example, they can have an idea together and decided to open a business in Argentina. They can decide to go in a different places. Right now, it's also for us, it's to make them understand that, for example, Indonesia has a lot of potential in growing, in being able to open a lot of hotels. Lydia was saying that it's a blooming industry, and the same thing for Saudi Arabia because they have the vision. Or it's the same thing for India, or it's the same thing for, I'm right now in Seoul. I was in Tokyo yesterday, actually. And for the wine and spirit and for the culinary art, you're saying a lot of people who are coming with ideas. And it's not just, of course, working as a services inside of a hotel, inside of a kitchen. It's perfect. And becoming a chef is wonderful. But more and more, the people are trying to come, from different background, robotics, AI, data. They are going to stuff who are completely amazing because hospitality per se attract a lot of different and various background. After that, to become, a business owner and to sell something, sell yourself. But of course, Lydia was saying it's a question of passion. The moment you're passionate of what you want to do, we are offering different skills, and it's the end goal who's important. Even if you're coming for finance, but you want to take over the family business or run something else or whatever, it's a question of patience. So yes, the COVID has just, for me, if you're looking at the new geopolitics aspect, you're also finding a place. You may go back in Indonesia because there is a lot of scope, but you also like you're doing the promotion of your own country, you're an ambassador. Like for somebody from Saudi Arabia or from Tokyo, you're going to tell them, why not establish yourself in Indonesia? So it's very important to always think that you can go back, you can stay in France, but you also can travel, because with this gastronomy, tourism industry, hospitality, most of the students come because they want to travel, they want to get some experience, to see the world before being able to open something wherever they want.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I think that's all the questions for today. I would like to invite you, Lucy, if you have any closing remarks before I hand it over to Lydia and close the session.
So last thing, so as I told you, we're having bachelor and we're having MBA program. So here it's how to apply. The application will be important because it's, of course, we have an online test. We're stopping by for the fair. We'll be in Surabaya, we'll be in Jakarta. So if the students want, we can do on the spot interviews, but that's the main point. Everybody is shaking about the online test, but the reality is the interview who's important. Because Lydia was talking about, taking time with the students to place them in the right thing. The importance of finding the right school. We are both passing an interview. I'm trying to find the potential in the students to understand the project, to try to see if they're better to go actually for Cordon Bleu because they want to do pastry and I'm not offering that, or if they want to at some point of time open their own place, and in this case come into Vatel because we're a business school. So there is no question of being a competition. It's a question of promoting France, but also being sure that when you're entering a school, we are polishing. You already have the project. We are polishing your skills. We are trying to make you, grow and becoming a successful professional. But the reality is we need to take time and we need to see if your project is in adaptation with the curriculum that we're going to offer for you. That's why it's still a moment when we're having, again, at the bachelor level, it's a moment when we're having still an orientation kind of counseling session. At the MBA level, no, here we are talking about professional. So I'm a little bit harder on the people. They need to know why they're coming and why they're decided to choose France. But usually that's that. Be normal, be yourself, be passionate, and it's going to be wonderful. You're going to have a wonderful experience in this industry, because France is actually opening up a lot of doors, because we're having great hotel, palaces, restaurant, everything.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Lucy. And over to you, Lydia, if you have any closing remarks.
Yes, I think I completely agree with Lucy. I think it's not a competition in terms of trying to find students, but because students, they already know also what they want to study. Our job, if someone wants to come and study Bachelor of Business, I'm sorry, I don't have a Bachelor of Business. You can go to Vatel. So of course, it's Le Cordon Bleu. It's a big name. It's well, we offer in Paris. We offer a culinary arts program. If you are interested to do the Bachelor of Business, we do offer it in other campuses. We are located in 35 different countries. But with Paris, I think if you have the passion for culinary, you have the passion for pastry and boulangerie, this is definitely the place to go. I speak of this not just because I'm representing Le Cordon Bleu Paris, because I also represented Le Cordon Bleu all around the world before. I think the main drive to come to Paris is also to experience the life here, to experience the culture here, to know what is it like to live in the gastronomic country. The fresh ingredients you cannot beat. That's what the alumni are saying back in Indonesia. It's difficult to find ingredients, to source ingredients, and it's expensive. The ingredients you cannot beat. Our teaching staffs are wonderful, are great. We have, of course, the director is an MOF, which is the highest skilled competition in France. But we also have a champion of for our boulangerie chef. He's an European champion. We also have pastry chefs who are in the list of the MOF finals. They unfortunately they don't win, but you know, it's always research and development and keeping on with the trends is important in our school as well. So we students, they when they learn culinary arts, they learn about the techniques, the French techniques of cooking, which is applicable in all different recipes, in all different types of food. So but when you come here, you just you don't just think that you are going to just cook French recipes. No, you will have French, of course, traditional dishes, but you will also learn the modern dishes and the plating. And it's a great place to study culinary arts. And again, we have that support system for you. Don't be afraid to come if you can't speak French yet. When you are here, every single one, I mean, every single class that you will do will have the French chef teaching chefs who teach in French and the direct translation. And you know, you will pick up all the words, all the vocabulary, and by the end of the 9 months or the 10 months or the 11 months, you will already speak, not if not a bit fluent French.
All right. Thank you so much, Lydia. So
You're welcome.
thank you, Lucy and Lydia, for joining us for this session.
Thank
And
you.
for those of you who are still watching us until this point, so I'd like to remind you that you still can ask questions to Lucy and Lydia through the online booth, to the virtual booth at virtual.ehef.id. And as Lucy mentioned earlier, we are also going to have offline sessions. So in Surabaya, it's going to be at the Square Ballroom. It's going to be held on the 8th of November. Jakarta is going to be at Menara Astra. It's going to be at on the 11th and 12th of November. While in Bandung, we're going to be having it at Hilton Hotel on the 14th of November. So for future information, you can check out the EHEF official website. And thank you so much. Thanks again, Lucy and
Thank you.
Lydia.
Thank you,
Really happy
January.
to have you
Bye-bye.
today.
Thank you. Nice to
Talk
meet
to you
you.
later. Bye-bye. Thank you,
Thanks.
everyone.
Bye.